Go Pizza presents SCP. The Steve Dangle Podcast with your hosts, Steve Dangle and Adam Wild.
Unfortunately, we have to start today's show with some breaking news. Oilers tweeted 2 minutes ago that Andrej Sekera will be out 6 to 9 months with a torn ACL.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's a long time. That's a lot of long time.
That's a long time.
That is...
That's December, January.
2018, I think.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Damn.
So that
Very
sucks.
bad.
That sucks.
That does suck. And I can't imagine... I mean, this is looking very far down the road, but I can't imagine he comes back and looks, even at 80% of himself by the end of the season. So you're probably looking at getting Andrej Sekera back 2018-2019 season.
That's rough.
That's pretty bad. Oilers are going to want some help on the back end.
Yeah, and there's already talk about that. But hey, we'll get to it. Hey!
All the more reason to re-sign Chris Russell.
Absolutely. Hey, Chris Russell literally just printed himself some cash.
Yeah, $3 million? $4 million. I
Over
think.
5 years.
Oh, there you go.
The Leafs almost gave him that last summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Steve was on breakfast television this morning.
That's right.
I wasn't. Steve was
I don't
there.
know how you do it. I don't know how.
What do you mean?
Because I feel like that was yesterday.
It does feel like a different day, doesn't it?
I got up 8 hours ago. How do you do that? That's dumb.
Anybody
Stop
that gets up early in the morning can attest to this. If you're an
Yeah.
early morning, even an overnight person, if you work from like midnight to 8 a.m., I've done the midnight shifts too in radio.
I've done that, yeah.
It feels like it's a different day by noon.
Yeah.
It feels a completely different. Like I feel like every day is 2 days.
I remember driving home on the Gardner at like 1 in the afternoon just going, this is dumb. What am I doing?
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's also nice you get to go home and nap.
What'd you do in the meantime?
What do you mean?
In between 9 a.m. and noon?
Drove all the way back.
Yeah,
Across
today
the many
I drove
borders
back.
to
I had
Oshawa.
Did you really?
I had an appointment. I had to.
I told him, like, you
Oh,
can come
God.
over and sleep. And he
No.
was like, no, because I wasn't on
Otherwise,
BT.
I would have. I would have gladly watched you play video games with your little headset.
I was on. I wasn't on BT this morning. But what I did notice from Steve's appearance was not only was he looking handsome, and you got a nice linen shirt on now. I think it looks great.
It's the same shirt.
Nice blue shirt. It's good.
Summer colors.
The other thing, Jesse, is that Steve missed a reunion.
You did?
Yeah,
A high school reunion?
He missed a reunion because I have a buddy M, right?
Okay.
Oh.
I have a buddy M.
Yeah, you do.
You missed a reunion with a buddy M, but it's your buddy M. Double M, I would say.
Mark
Dina?
Madden.
Mark Messier will be on the show tomorrow.
Ah!
And you missed your
Actually, you know what?
reunion.
I did hear that. And under my breath, I'm like, oh, I'm sure that's going to be really good.
What's he promoting? Some more chips?
yeah.
I have no
What
idea
corporate
he's
thing
talking
will he open
Did
up
he
for
sign
us?
on with Ruffles?
about. I
and
have
stuff?
no idea, guy. Hey, remember, he works with
Shut up.
Rogers, just like we do. And Connor McDavid.
Yeah, you
So-
bet.
So, you know.
Yeah, Connor McDavid, TM.
That's right. Connor McDavid really is like, it won't be long before he's selling
Did you see
everything.
that? You see that email that Mark Messier sent out? Steve Harvey, I'm sorry. That was Steve Harvey sent out that email. My bad.
Wow.
I'm wrong.
Wow.
What? He was Adam.
This tea is delicious.
That is one of the top 5 scorers in NHL history. Mm-hmm. And I said top 5 because I don't remember exactly where, but he's there.
I think he's second, isn't he?
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure he's second. I'm pretty sure he's
feel like
second,
that might
guys.
be Gordie
Just
Howe.
points?
In overall
Or
points.
wait,
Oh,
did,
no. What
did
if-
Yager take that over yet? I don't know.
I thought Messier was second overall.
No.
I mean, he might have been. At
Check it.
some
Just
point
check
in our
that.
Yeah,
lives.
no, Messier is way down the list.
Oh.
What?
It's Gretz. Oh, this is goals.
No,
God damn
points.
it.
How
Points.
dare you?
This is important.
It's okay. Go to NHL.com
Yeah,
and take 20 minutes.
Gretzky, Yager, Messier. How?
So Yager just passed him
Yeah,
then.
yeah,
There you
you're
go.
right.
My
you're right.
information's just a little out of date.
I was thinking goals.
I think that would have been fantastic. I also want to throw this weird factoid at you before we actually get into the Pens Sens game last night. By the way, Pens Sens, perfect matchup for rolling off your tongue.
Ends.
Ends. This ends game.
40
40-year-old Matt Cullen is the only player left in the 2017 Stanley Cup playoffs that has played for all 4 remaining teams.
I saw that.
How wild is that?
It's Adam Wild is what it is.
There is a picture of him in the tweet that originally says this that has the NHL 2000. Remember, it had the 2000 thing and it had NHL in the zeros.
And he's in the purple and green Ducks jersey.
Whoa!
I know.
Whoa!
Now, we've talked about a concept a number of times on the show originally brought to my attention by Justin Bourne. It's like the all nobody team. Like who?
Jack of all trades.
What NHL nobody had the best career? And like I think one of the examples brought up was Andreas Dangle. Nobody played over 1,000 games. Radek Dvorak,
Oh yeah.
close to a nobody.
What about Radek Bonk?
Radek,
Kind of a nobody.
A little bit of a nobody, and like I'm not trying to say it in competent bum.
That's it.
You can't win a Stanley Cup without a few competent bums, and Pittsburgh did it last year with a Matt Cullen. Is he a little bit better than a competent bum?
I mean, he might be the best competent bum all time.
You can be king of the competent bums.
That's still something to be proud of. Listen, if you've played that many years, if you were playing in 2000 and you're still playing now, accomplishment.
What is Matt Cullen's career high in points?
Let's look that up.
I want to know that. Is it higher than Jonathan Toews?
It probably would be.
Probably not.
His career totals are 248 goals, 441 assists, 689 points in 1,366 NHL games.
1,300 games. And he's Matt Cullen.
He played his first game for the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. The Mighty Ducks.
The Mighty Ducks.
In 1997, 1998.
Wow.
And he played 61 games for them that year.
That would have been
That's 20 years ago.
Joe
Well,
Thornton's
almost.
rookie season, I think.
Career high is 49 points. He did it 2 times.
Wow.
Last most recent time was 2008 with the Hurricanes.
But he had 5 40-point seasons in a row.
Hey,
That's not...
hey,
I mean, listen, and it's not bad. It's not bad at all.
he's got to be probably top 50 in terms of games played.
He has to be. Yeah, I would think so.
1,300? Like
How
Jerome
many-
McGinley just hit 1,300.
How many-
No, points, sorry.
How many 25-goal seasons does Nazem Kadri have?
1.
2? Is it 1 or 2? Because the lockout shortened one he definitely would have, but it was lockout
So that doesn't
shortened.
count.
Well, he's
I
got
think
at
it's
least 1. I'm going to say 2.
He has 1.
Yeah, it's this
Oh.
year.
The same number as Matt Cullen.
Wow. Wow.
That's true.
One-time 25-goal scorer Matt Cullen.
Had Matt Cullen been on the Leafs, he probably would have been in the top 100.
Now, does scoring 25 goals or more take you out of competent bum territory, even if it's only once?
Well, he did it more than once.
How many times did Bates
Didn't he?
Battaglia
Oh, no,
do
he did it once.
He did it once.
Oh, you're right, that one time.
Yeah.
Is
That's the
Matt
only-
Cullen Bates Battaglia?
He might be, because he got 22 goals once. And I was looking at his Italy numbers. His Italy numbers during the lockout were just disgusting.
Oh, wow.
36 games, 27 goals, 33 assists. Not bad.
Just taking the piss.
I'm not making fun of Matt Cullen. Can we make this clear?
When NHL players... No. I'm fully supporting Matt Cullen. Team Matt Cullen right here. It's like I want PK to win the cup, Matt Cullen again, end of list. I think we're done
Did he
here.
win a cup, though? That's what... Okay, so...
Yeah, last year.
Oh, he did,
on
yeah.
Penguins.
And maybe was it the 05-06 Hurricanes that won?
Yes.
Yeah.
So he won with them, too.
It might say, I think it should say at the bottom of his page.
No, it doesn't.
No, it
Not
does
on
not.
Hockey DB.
Stupid hockey DB. I don't even remember what I
But
was
that's pretty
gonna say.
cool. I mean, the fact that... And that season was by far his best season. 25 goals, 24 assists, 49 points, and 18 points in the playoffs.
Hey.
It's nothing to sneeze at.
No, I think he's outside of competent bum territory. But, I mean, the longevity, that's pretty impressive.
I wonder if
To
you...
play past
I wish
36 at all.
I wish you could know. Like, I'm not sure if the NHL ever releases this. But, like, as a player, do you know how many, like, the exact number of people that buy your jersey? Because they must keep track of that, right? Because they have to.
Because you get a percentage. So you know.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would love to know
you?
how many
I don't know
Matt
about
Cullen
that.
jerseys were sold over the course of the years. Like, who's a third line winger fan?
Yeah.
Because there are those people. Those jerseys exist. You see them in every game. They're the hardcore fans that really love that one guy.
It's funny. A lot of people, especially in Leafland, like to buy a jersey of someone who's not quite the star, but they're either new, a fan favorite, or both. That's why there's a lot of Chris Versteeg jerseys walking around.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. Now, I saw a couple Michael Renberg jerseys.
Because you're too cool to get Sundin.
Everybody else
I'm
has
going to get
Sundin.
Michael Renberg. Shut up. Get a Sundin.
Shout out to all the people that had the Freddie Modine 19 jerseys. And I like this one. I appreciate this one because he was my favorite player at the time, Steve Thomas.
Oh,
32.
a lot of people had Stumpy. That's a fan favorite. Freddie Modine, though, you might just be a little bit difficult. I think you're just being difficult.
All right. So here's the thing. Okay, all 30 teams can't pick a star. Whose jersey do you get?
Oh, my God. Oh,
Jesse?
let's do this for the next 30 minutes. Wait,
All
we got to pick
30
one from
No,
every team?
no. Just like one player from all 30 teams.
That's what we
That's-
want from the listeners?
No, yeah. Well, yeah, the listeners can weigh in
yeah.
with their, I would hope if
I'm not
you're
doing
listening.
one for every team,
No,
man.
that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking for one player.
Oh, in the
Of
entire
30,
NHL?
It could be of any of the 30 teams, but
Why
just
did
one
you
player.
phrase it like that?
Well, I thought that was pretty clear.
No.
Okay, well, I apologize.
Two people are sitting here confused. So it was not clear.
You know what? Fair enough. Okay,
fair.
I concede. One player of the 30 teams.
The 30 teams.
In the NHL.
In the NHL would have been a better way to phrase that. Okay, fair.
Like if you're like a Penguins fan and you got like a Carl Hagelin jersey, I think.
Yeah, that's a good one because he's beloved.
Because you would see that and go, yeah.
Like if you're a Jackets
But-
fan, Foligno.
No, he's the captain, man.
I know,
Like,
but still, he's not their. He's great, but he's not like their A+ goal
a
scorer.
Mark Fane jersey.
no, that's now you're just being difficult. Like I think there's a gap between star players and fan favorites being difficult, whatever we're talking about.
Boston Bruins back in the day, Johnny Boychuk.
Too much of a fan favorite.
Johnny Boston, no?
Too much of a Johnny Boston. You just said it.
Okay, I'm trying to think. Okay.
Kevin Miller. Anton Hudobin.
Oh boy, no, that now you're just getting obscure.
Yeah, see, that's just being difficult. You're right.
Right.
See?
See, I thought fan favorite counted.
A Peter Budaj jersey.
No, you're difficult.
I think you're being difficult.
He did take them through 61 games this year.
He starts for the Kings all season, goes to Tampa. You get a Budaj jersey.
What about Tanner Pearson? Or is he too good?
I think it's too good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe if you're the Islanders, like Hamonic.
I think he's a little bit too good. Aaron Ness. If you're an Islanders fan and you get an Aaron Ness jersey.
Anyway, pick your team. Pick the player from your team that they have to be. They could be a fan
I'm not calling
favorite.
Aaron Ness bad.
No, they could be a. But
I'm not
it's
calling Matt Cullen bad.
competent bum territory, but they can also be a fan favorite, right? Because competent bums usually are fan
I
favorites.
dare I say Matt Cullen.
There you go. There you go. Does anybody out there own a Pittsburgh Penguins Matt Cullen
Cullen.
jersey?
Send
or
us-
Ducks Matt Cullen jersey if you really want to get crazy.
Send us your jersey and we'll tell you if it's a star/fan favorite, what we're talking
wait.
about, which we still haven't named yet, or being difficult.
Now, are we sure that we want to put fan favorite and star in the same category?
Well, because like Steve Thomas wasn't a star, but it made sense that you had his jersey.
Right.
That made sense. He's a fan favorite. You know?
I
wish I knew where that jersey was.
What about UC Jokinen?
Oh, I like that.
Close.
Is that a good one?
Shootout
maybe.
specialist UC Jokinen.
Yeah.
I like that.
I can live with that.
Because he's got some highlights. If you're the New York, Merrick Malik, because that
Yeah.
one time he scored that one goal. And we're going to replay it on every top 10 list for the rest of time.
How many Tanner Glass jerseys were sold during these playoffs?
Good question.
And that's just, that's fan favorite. I was going to say being difficult. That's fan favorite.
Now, for the Leafs, would Leo Komarov be a fan favorite?
He's in Chris Versteeg territory. Like, he's the cool guy, fan favorite, little bit Steve Thomas.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So let's define these. What's our category? We got stars, we got fan favorite but not star, competent bum, and then you're just being difficult. So those are the four categories, okay?
Is that what it is? Because I was going to say, like, what I'm trying to figure out, I'm trying to name a category between, like, common, basically, like a common jersey in your fan base. You're clearly just being difficult, and unique, like, or unexpected.
See, no, I think you got to simplify.
Okay.
Let's simplify. Okay,
I'm
so
making it too difficult.
I
I was just really pleased with my Aaron.
I think there's stars. I think you got to put fan favorite / competent bum because I think fan favorite sort of denotes that they're not the best player on the team, but people love the way they play.
Leo Komarov.
Right?
There it is.
And then you got to play. You're just being difficult, and I can't wait to see that you're just being difficult.
Where does a guy like Zach Hyman fall on this?
That's
a tough one.
See, rookies get a bit of a pass, but that's close to just being a little bit difficult.
He'll always be my man.
And the Leafs rookies too. Like,
Well, I
they were
get
just
that.
such a special crop. See, though, a lot of people this year were like, well, everyone's going to get a Matthews jersey. I'll get Marner. No. Nylander. No. How many Connor Brown jerseys were sold because people were like, I'm different.
Poor Connor Brown.
I'm going to get...
he's so good, and he's just completely overshadowed.
I know. But
Oh my God. Okay, so let's move on to actually what happened. So send us your jerseys, put them on Reddit, put them on Twitter. Cannot wait to see them. Tag us in them on Instagram.
I'm always just curious what people are doing, like in their car or on the bus when they're doing Aaron Ness.
Pens win, but lose 2 key players.
Who are the two?
I forget. There was
Justin Schultz.
Schultz, and there was another one on the bench. And
Russ.
yes.
Oh, that's right, Russ.
Sorry.
Should we start with the hit?
I guess we should. What do you think?
Clean as a whistle.
Me too.
Yeah,
I think so
I saw
too.
a lot of people whining about that.
The Phaneuf hit. That is.
And a lot of them were Penguins fans, and I'm not harping on them. That's your job.
Rob Rossi sure didn't like it.
Oh, gives a shit. Like, I mean, that's his job. No, his job is to whatever. Also, happy birthday, Rob Rossi. Apparently, it's his birthday. I saw on Twitter. But Penguins fans, I mean, yeah, you should be mad when your player gets clocked. But, I mean, I think we've said something similar to this on the show before. Like, if you get lit up by Phaneuf, it's your lucky day. You're lucky that's who lit you up. Because he is almost always flippers down, just shoulders, doesn't jump into it, hits you nice and clean. Any other guy in the league would have brained you. And, I mean, rust might come back. Someone else hits you, you're not coming back. You cross those trolley tracks like that, elbows up a bit, comes up. I'm not trying to dump on the guy, but what if you just randomly teleported into Phaneuf's position, Zach Kassian? You're not coming back till next year.
Yeah.
You got hit by Dion Phaneuf.
Corey Perry, Getzlav, any of those guys.
If you don't like that hit, like really watch it numerous times. If you don't like that hit, then maybe you don't feel hockey should be a contact sport. Like, believe me, I don't think the NHL does a good job of protecting its players, but that's beautiful. That's exactly what
That's a hit.
a hockey hit is supposed to be.
Yep.
And one thing Phaneuf has never strayed away from over the years, you never know when it's coming either. When he was a rookie with Calgary, he was a little bit more of a madman, and you knew every game
Because he had Roman Hammerlick to cover his ass.
Yeah, this incarnation of Phaneuf, the Leaf one and now the Sens one, it's every 2 or 3 months. He just murders somebody, and it's always clean. Flipper down.
Has he ever been suspended?
Once, and I'm glad you asked because I looked it up. He hit Kevin Miller of the Bruins from behind, and even that one, I look at the replay, and he was being irresponsible, but Kevin Miller also kind of got tripped up and was in a position that I'm sure Phaneuf didn't anticipate him being in. Whatever, he got a 2-game suspension.
Do you
Does
feel
anyone in life besides Kevin Miller's mother own a Kevin Miller jersey?
In Boston? Yeah.
That's why. Remember the day.
Hey! Miller! You know some guy's going, hey, Miller!
Speaking of which, remember I saw the Dave Steckel jersey at the Leafs Dave Steckel jersey at a Nashville Tampa Bay game.
Wow. That's just being difficult.
Yeah, or your
good,
family.
like a mother
Your
or
family.
something. Yeah.
It was. I think it was probably his dad.
I don't know.
I should have gone.
That's pretty great.
I should have asked. Why didn't I ask? You know, when you think back to things, you're like, you know what would have been a great thing to do in that moment that I definitely didn't think about because I'm not smart enough?
Here. Do you think his dad's like this? Here. Ask me about my jersey.
Hey, are you Dave Steckel's
Glad
dad?
you asked. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know anything about him.
Okay, so hit was fair. I mean, obviously the sideshow that everybody's talking about, and it's not the hit, is the Kessel Malkin show.
Oh, you know what?
Shoving buddies on the bench.
That was great.
I'm different and you're different, and we're having issues.
How are we gonna get along? Yeah, no, that was a beautiful story. Like when I saw Kessel score that, I'm like, oh, mwah, perfect.
Can I just say that I said to myself in my head, and I don't need anybody's validation on this because I know I did it. I'm like, watch, Phil Kessel's going to be the only one that scores tonight. I didn't tweet it. I didn't message you guys. There's no way to prove that. But I was like in my head, I'm like, there's something brewing.
You had it.
And it's like a Lennon-McCartney relationship, right? It's like they can't stand each other, but damn, they create some great stuff.
Oh, Kessel and Malkin?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they can stand each other.
Yeah.
But it was probably like a couple...
It's frustration. I mean, the Sens, the one thing they've been credited with throughout these playoffs is they frustrate their opponents.
Great defensively.
I mean, it's funny. We both kind of messaged each other at the same time, and I think Jesse jumped in too. Like, at the second period, when the second period began, we were like, hey, this game's picking up. This is a fun game. You know why the game was fun? Because the Penguins started breaking through the Sens. Mm-hmm. The Sens had no part in the fun.
No.
If there's fun going on, it's not them. Unless it's in overtime, then it's always them.
Do you think the Sens from watching the game, guys, do you think the Sens overly defended?
That's what they do.
Right, but I almost feel like they had a few chances, but it didn't feel like they had enough chances.
I like the criticism at the end of the game. Like, they didn't really change up the style too much.
If they got lucky and got one goal,
different
they had
game.
A chance of winning.
Yeah. You're
that's
right.
true. It was a 1-0 loss. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Although, I mean, before the Kessel goal, it should have been 4-0 Penguins. Like the chances they were fanning on and firing high and all that. So,
Crosby almost put one through Anderson's legs and it went off the side of the net.
It's brutal. Well, and Crosby to Sheary, miss. Crosby to Gensel, miss. And
does that has got to be frustrating for Crosby? I was watching him play. It was just things were just happening, and he would catch a guy skating the wrong way, skating backwards when he should have been skating forwards or whatever. And these are
the Sens. They're screwing him up. The Sens are screwing them all up. And what was perfect about... So Hockey Night in Canada featured the Kessel-Malkin fight, and they didn't say anything that I wasn't thinking too, which was basically, I don't mind this. Kelly Rudy, said, he's like, I don't mind this. This happens on the bench. But, that did get a little out of hand, didn't it? It seemed a little... there's a line. It got the fire boiled over that line, I thought. But... what was perfect at the end of it is you see Kessel mouth as clear as day, move the puck. Move the puck.
I believe move the fucking puck.
Oh, I think it might have been move the fucking puck.
So let's be accurate here.
Malkin's coming down the wing. Kessel's stick hits the ice in a very loud and passive-aggressive way. Lets him know he's there. The second his stick hits the ice, Malkin feeds him. Kessel takes a shot. It's blocked, gets the rebound, goal. It was beautiful.
And they hugged each other after.
Exactly. Malkin did what Kessel asked him to do. It led to a goal. Phil Kessel, tactician and genius.
The Post-Gazette in Pittsburgh, they wrote a pretty good article about how the narrative would have been so much different if Kessel doesn't score that goal.
So true.
100%.
Yelling would have been a thing for the series, and how Kessel can't be controlled, and how he's a problem in the locker room.
It already sort of started in between both periods. I'm like, you could see the storm brewing with what the where the conversation was going. It's a really good point.
Yeah.
And it was like, there was some things. I mean, I know. I think, and I'll say his name, and I would say it to him because I know he would back it up. But Nick Kypreos was he did not seem very comfortable
on that train.
Yes, he was, and I wonder. I've seen him make a couple comments about it before, and he was talking about the difference in playing styles in the Penguins. And it related to Sidney Crosby's concussion in round 2 when this happened. And he's like, you look at the amount of hits Sidney Crosby throws, and it's like 8 a game or something. And then Kessel, it's like 8 all year. And he kind of made that comparison. Now that's not a fair comparison. That's not true.
Yeah,
like
Lidstrom.
it was. I'm paraphrasing here, but the idea is the same. And I just wonder, like, I think Nick, when he looks at it, he probably goes, okay. You're yelling at this guy, and yet you're not willing to do all these things. Mm-hmm. And I think that would have definitely snowballed into something bigger.
There's a great Vine from last year. It's Crosby skates over to Kessel, who's smiling, and you can't see what Crosby's saying, but he obviously said something angrily, and Kessel goes, "Fuck you! What the fuck are you yelling at me for?" And again, like, just mouths it clear as day. Kessel doesn't care.
No.
It's the best.
No, he does
But
have the
he's
energy.
so good.
Well, and
What is it? 13 points in 13 games these playoffs.
Yeah.
Playoff Kessel.
he was
Is great.
He was great with the
Conn
Leafs.
Smythe last year.
Look at his career playoff numbers with the Leafs, with the Bruins, and now with the Penguins.
Can we also
He's
talk about
unreal.
the fact that every narrative after the game, and this is what I found really, really
I hate
interesting.
that fucking word.
Yeah.
Well, it was.
Sorry, I'm not lecturing you for using it. It's just everyone uses it.
Sorry, all the content
and
after
improperly.
the game. All the content after the game.
Oh, that's much better. All
So
the
much
digital content?
All that digital
Oh,
content.
good. Was it sticky?
It was.
Was it sticky?
I found it to be meaty. Meaty content. That's what I hear a lot. Meat and potatoes. Get to the meat and potatoes. Like,
Sorry, I'm looking for something. But I am listening.
What I found interesting was everybody talking about, well, Kessel's a loud and passionate guy. And in Toronto, the first criticism leveled at him was that he was a quiet, dispassionate person. It's so amazing how quickly that switches, right?
It's so dumb.
It's crazy.
It's dumb is what it is. Well, and I finally found what I was looking for. Holy mackerel. The narrative so quickly changed on Ryan Johansson. Well, and it's his own fault.
We're getting to that.
Yeah.
We're getting to that.
So should I save it?
Yeah, save it.
Okay,
Save that.
I'll save it.
Save that. While we're on the
screenshot, there you go.
While we're on the Pens, while we're still, and we'll wrap it up here because we do need to talk about that series and specifically those quotes. But we have here a series that could still, I think, go either way. And Bobby Ryan,
I think the Sens are going to win.
You do, eh? I think if they win, I don't know how they don't win at all. Like I
could see Nashville beating them.
There is a rule I once heard about the Stanley Cup playoffs. Basically, Cinderella always makes something along
makes
the
an
lines
appearance but doesn't win.
Yeah, Cinderella always makes it to the ball and then
Are they Cinderella
leaves
though?
behind her shoe. Well, it's interesting because we're talking about what, the second seed in the Atlantic?
Yeah. Are they Cinderella?
If the Preds make it, which that series is tied, by the way, they're the second wild card team.
They're literally the 8th seed.
Yeah, they had to make it. They had to make it this far in order for the Leafs to pick 17th. Like the Leafs and Preds pick was still up in the air. It could be two Cinderellas. What happens if it's two Cinderellas? The most boring Cinderella wins. Congrats to Ottawa on the 2017 Stanley Cup.
That's right. It is interesting watching now, because you can't watch every team all the time and pick up the little nuances in their game. So the playoffs are great because you actually get to watch the best teams and you get to watch, when your team's out, you get to, which our team normally in the past has been.
Absolutely.
You get to pick up subtle nuances about other teams. And what I've noticed about Ottawa is, gee, what a shock that Bobby Ryan struggled this year.
Really?
No, it's not a shock at all. I'm being sarcastic.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I know.
In that system, of course he struggles. That is not a Bobby Ryan system,
But
man.
he's been excelling in these playoffs.
He has been. And I don't know whether that's buy-in or whether or not he's been set up to succeed a little bit better or a little bit of both.
A little bit of
but
luck.
I am not shocked that Bobby Ryan had a rough year this year. And I'm sure part of it's adjustment. I just don't think that Bobby Ryan... I don't think he was ever known for playing a highly responsible hockey game.
I don't know. Well, like a more skilled, more lethal Joffrey Lupul, a little bit. Right-handed shot, can score goals. Mm-hmm. Doesn't know what's behind him.
That was the point, though. Now he has to. And I wonder if that was part of the reason that his stats weren't great. Maybe he was battling an injury or not. But I looked at that and I was like, of course Bobby Ryan didn't do well. But I'm sure next year, after this run, and the confidence that team has in their head coach now... It may be a little bit easier for them.
You never know. The big playoff performers, they rarely find a way to do it consistently. A lot of them get big paydays out of it.
Justin Williams.
Justin Williams, yeah, but he found a way to do it consistently. Sean Bergenheim, Fernando Pisani.
Oh, that's right.
I hate to say his name because he just retired due to unfortunate circumstances, but Brian Bickle. Those guys, they rarely find a way
Dave Bolin. Chris Versteeg. Chris Versteeg was a little more consistent.
But he wasn't a huge playoff performer. Boland had a huge playoffs, and he caught everyone's attention. That one's good. I like that one. But they rarely find a way to do it consistently, regular season in, playoff out, every year. They have a hard time. So
it'll be very interesting to see what happens there. Mm-hmm. And you got to hope Bobby Ryan produces a little. He's making $7 million.
If you're Ottawa.
Yeah.
And just because I'm Canadian, Mr. Trudeau, doesn't mean I have to cheer for the Ottawa Senators. It's democracy. I don't have to listen to you.
All right, let's talk about the Preds and Ducks.
Let's do it.
I'm going to play the Johansson quote for you guys, just so we can talk about. This is Ryan Johansson talking about how he doesn't understand how people can cheer for Ryan Kesler.
Ryan Kessler is known to be a pretty good defensive center in this league. He's been up for some awards. Has he gone over the line in this series?
I mean, if I was, it just blows my mind. I mean, watching, I don't know what's going through his head out there, but like his family and his friends watching him play, I don't know how you cheer for a guy like that. I mean, it just doesn't make sense how he plays the game. So, I'm just trying to go there and play hockey, and it sucks when you gotta pull a stick out of your groin every shift.
Now, did Ryan Johansson just hand Ryan Kesler the W?
A little bit.
Not that Ryan Johansson has underperformed; he played great, but did he not score the game winner in Game 1?
I don't remember. I think so, but like looking at Game 2, he had 2 assists. So,
but when you have a quote like that, if you're Ryan Kesler, if I'm Ryan Kesler, at least I look at it like, all right, I got under his skin.
I look at it. I went back and forth in my head on this. I look at it a couple ways. One, Ryan Johansson is absolutely right. And I didn't, like, that's deep. That's deep. Sometime you'll hear a player say, that's gutless. Ooh, gutless is like, that's an F-bomb, like in hockey, like an acceptable F-bomb. It's gutless, classless, class. Show some class. Ryan Kesler. I don't like that type of player. I'm not that type of player. You hear stuff like that. I don't know how his family cheers for him. Whew! Like, that is... I mean, people are talking about Ryan Kesler really getting under his skin. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I think you're burying the lead here. Like, that is some genuine... You don't come back from that. Like, those guys can't be friends.
No.
Those guys can't ever play on the same team. Like, that is... I don't think you can come back from... the day before Mother's Day, basically going, how does this guy's mom cheer for him? How does his wife stand behind him? This guy's a bad example for his kids. And he's absolutely right. Like, Ryan Kesler and a lot of the Ducks, they're Darth Vader. They're the villain in this series. They get away with murder. They do every year. Corey Perry is the king of getting away with murder. How does anyone who's not on the Ducks even like him? Like, I don't know. Even on Team Canada, do you just stomach him for those couple weeks? And then the second the regular season starts, you go, oh, thank God, and then you give him a 2-hand slash in the fingers. Like, that is an insufferable player, and so is Ryan Kesler, and he does stick you in the pills often. However, isn't it great to have a villain?
Yeah! It is.
Isn't it great? Like,
that isn't Brad Marchand, because if Brad Marchand's the villain, it means the Bruins are doing well. Mm-hmm. And and you know what? I want to break from that. They've done quite well lately. I would like a break from the Bruins.
And Marchand is the smile in your face villain. Ryan Kesler will actually, a little bit. Some men just want to watch the world burn, and that is
definitely Brad Marchand.
Kessler's a little bit of Bane, like just angry. Just angry all the time, and he is as vicious as he usually is and as hell-bent as he usually is on winning. This fucking guy has been so close so many times, and he's running out of time. This is not only dirty Ryan Kesler and determined Ryan Kesler, this is desperate Ryan Kesler. That's 3 Ds I just said. Dirty, determined, desperate. I forget the other one. Thank you, desperate.
But you can't criticize a guy for getting away with it, right?
I cannot. And it's an art, man.
And it's the ref's fault. It's the league's fault.
100%. And it brings me to the greater issue of just the officiating in the sport I love sucks balls. It just sucks. And it's only highlighted by playoff time. It's only highlighted by playoff time. Bobby Ryan got taken down last night in, I want to say, in the final 5 minutes of the Penguins-Sens game. And then he's going like this to the ref. I'm like, Bobby, what are you complaining for? It's less than 5 minutes left in the third. Like, you're lucky he didn't stab you. Like, just pull a switchblade out of his friggin' sock, shank you in the ribs, and maybe get a talking to after the whistle. I know it's playoff hockey and all that. No, there are rules. What slashing? What is slashing? It's this. All right. What is the penalty for it? A 2-minute minor. Go to the box for 2 minutes. Tripping. What is tripping? Well, it's when you trip the guy. Okay. You go to the box for 2 minutes. Spearing. What is spearing? Oh, well, it's sometimes I see it 2 minutes. It's usually 5-minute major. But in the regular season, you're lucky if you get all those things called perfectly. And in the playoffs, forget it. The refs are decoration. Like, they're like a Christmas tree. I don't get it. I don't get it. So that to me is the greater problem. And I was listening to the radio on the way in, and you know who had a great point?
Who's that?
Pierre Maguire. Pierre Maguire actually had a great point where he goes, Ryan Johansson did that to get the refs' attention heading into Game 3.
Oh, that's a good point.
There might be other ways to do that. Some refs are cement heads, and that might make them less likely to give you a call.
Which in the sport of hockey wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cement-headedness. There was
a PK one recently. What was it? It was in Game 2. You know what? I think it was like a 2-hand slash or a trip, and it was clear as day. Clear as day. Ref was looking at it. Right in front of the ref, looking at it. Didn't get called. And I can't help but think, well, he just got fined for embellishment. That's why it didn't get called. Which, by the way, if you look at the play he was fined for, you go, what? And supposedly those plays go under review, and it's 10 people who see it, and you need at least 7 votes to say, yeah, fine the guy.
Oh, wow.
7 out of 10 people watch that play, and we're like, totally. So it's just a poorly officiated sport.
I didn't know
and when you're watching the National Hockey League, I got news for you. This is the best we can do.
Hold on. My favorite part is that we have a democratic process to decide a black and white issue. Like, do they literally have a vote on him? And how do they? Who are these 10 people? Okay, you guys.
I want to know.
I want to apply for a job, honey. I'm going to put in my application. My application is to be the guy that has a vote, and I get to decide whether or not a player was diving or not. And how does that work?
I have a hard time with these. Because, like, again, didn't hashtag play the game. Where the hell is my place in this argument? However, if even one of the 10 people is a former player, you're doing it wrong. Have none of that panel, not a single person on that panel, be a former player. Because I can't help but feel like they'll be looking at that play and going, yeah, I've done that before. Yeah, I understand why he did that. No, that's not the point. The point is or isn't it allowed? Did he embellish or didn't he? Was it a trip or was it not a trip? All those things. Have officials. Mm-hmm. Have former officials or whatever.
Elliot Friedman decided to drop 30 thoughts like a hot mixtape today before the show.
Oh.
So we're going to go through some points.
Spent too much time in my car. Didn't even see it.
A little bit rapid fire here. Now, all of the 30 points are very, very interesting, including Jordan Subban going to Nashville, not to support his brother, but to watch Ryan Ellis play. Because that was part of the thing that
wasn't a point, Adam.
That was the intro story. Not a point, though. You're right.
Yeah, no, that was point 31.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like point 0.05.
I always love when Elliot puts 40 thoughts in 30 thoughts.
I know, right? Anyway, so Jordan Subban's going down there. But what's really interesting is starting with this. Unusual name out of Minnesota, and this is where 30 Thoughts really peaks, is this time of year. Not that it's ever not good, but it peaks right before the trade deadline, and it peaks right now because it's the end of the playoffs. There's a lot of teams out looking around at each other, and especially now with the expansion draft and the free agent window and the draft and the free agency itself. Oh my God, it's going to be really good.
During the season, he will just disperse throughout just little that's a nice little tidbit.
There's a lot of ooh in this one.
This time of year, it's just, get a load of this! Freege coming at you. Imagine if he was loud and obnoxious. Can't imagine that. All right, we now go live to Elliot Friedman. Wait till you get a load of this! Minnesota Wild, what a hot mess! Washington Capitals, there's some shit going on.
I would love for him to be like...
Freege!
I'd love for him to be that 80s radio personality that just makes broad sweeping statements too.
Elliot Friedman coming at you.
Stephen A. Smith?
Yeah, almost. Almost. And then he has a segment called You've Been Freeged.
Oh,
or Freeged Out. Something like that.
Oh, man, no, when someone's been refrigerator. No, yeah, you put them in the refrigerator. Damn it!
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
Great minds think alike. Your mind thinks faster.
I'm sorry.
You guys stepped all over each other to get to that joke.
I'm sorry. I will get there. Sorry about that, man. All right. So, unusual names circulating in trade circles over the past few days. Minnesota's Nino Niederreiter. El Nino.
Sorry, I was just laughing at your
Neener. You know, if I went Neener, you'd know exactly who I was talking about.
Oh, yes. Tell me.
You would know.
He's available?
You would be like, yeah, Minnesota's Nino Niederreiter. Who, by the way, I always used to take in NHL 2011 because he had a really high projection.
He was supposed to be the next big thing. He was supposed to be the guy who's not going first, but in many years could. Mm-hmm. What was his draft year? I want to say it was the Tavares year.
Yeah. Same with Tuomo Ruutu.
Oh!
Everybody thought Tuomo Ruutu was going to be huge.
Great player to pick up in the NHL games. Great player.
Sean Avery,
24?
too.
He's not old.
Drafted in 2010.
And he had 25 goals this year.
Oh, that weird little 2010 draft.
Yeah.
He went 5th overall.
Not bad. So here's the deal. It sounds like teams are looking at their cap situation, and the Wild's cap situation is a bit tough, and obviously the expansion situation is tough too. Even as far as I think 3 months ago when Sportsnet put out their projection for the Vegas team at that point, it included guys like Tyler Johnson, which is no longer...
That was 5 months ago, yeah.
5 months ago. Tyler Johnson would no longer be eligible, I believe, because Valtteri Filppula is gone.
I'm not totally sure. Well, Tampa's got some decisions to make. Another interesting thing from that video is the Leafs have 3 guys from that video.
Mm-hmm. Was it Eric Fair?
Eric Fair, Seth Griffith, and Martin Marincin.
So what's interesting here is that Jonas Brodin was the guy that they thought would be selected. However, Nino Niederreiter would be a pretty good selection as well. Now, they need to re-sign Michael Granlund, and it's apparently, this is according to Elliot Friedman, it may not be their first choice, but if you make it worth their while, it's possible. And that's a GM in the league said that to Elliot Friedman. And according to Stephen Birch, who was tweeting about it today, he said... Nino Niederreiter's possession impacts are comparable to the likes of Brad Marchand, LA Kings' Justin Williams, and a younger Marian Hossa.
Jesus.
But
he doesn't get a lot of points.
He got 25 goals this year, so that's pretty good.
Oh.
It's a career high. But,
he's got as many 25-goal seasons as Nathan Capper.
He does. Correct.
Bobby Cappuccino pointed out that if you're looking for a replacement for JVR, that would be a good one.
Who's this?
Nino Niederreiter.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. How do you get him, though?
I mean, you lose a winger who can score a lot and has a very entertaining name, and in return...
But why would... But hold on.
Which should be a big factor when selecting players.
It should be the biggest factor, Jesse.
Why would the Wild do that, though?
Oh, I'm not saying 1 for 1. I'm just saying if you need to trade JVR, wouldn't it be wonderful if you could bring in Nino Niederreiter?
Yeah, just what's the price? Because it'd be a high price.
Now I just laugh every time I say his name.
Matt Dumba's name also mentioned in trade talks.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
The other thing, this is point 6. Incredibly, Barry Trotz's future isn't secure.
Incredibly. There's a little bit of editorial there, Freach.
No, and then there's a text from a GM.
Yes, and I'm going to get to this. Yeah. Okay, so the GM...
How did you guys both have time to read this, and I didn't even know it was out?
It's because we streetcar for 40 minutes.
You know what?
Fair.
Hey, Jesse, you know what it is? We live downtown.
Yeah, we got time.
What were you doing?
Driving.
What were you doing? Oh, that's right, you were driving.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, man.
How long was your drive?
Too much.
How many bumpers did you see?
Being in the car, first of all, I had to drive like Jason Statham to make it to breakfast television on time today. And
it's not easy because the studio is in the middle of the city, so all the arteries pile in. And you're like, I'm doing great, and then it's like 25 minutes from the main arteries to the middle of the city.
I did a lot of things that aren't what you would call legal, but I made it there on time.
So you drove like a normal person in Toronto.
Yes. Out of necessity.
Yeah, that's how we all drive, man. It's all good. See, telling you, we work perfectly down here. You would fit right in.
Oh, I remember. I was sitting there, like, not moving and just going, how much debt do I want to be in? Like, how much debt is okay? Like, you really start to think, like, I'm just gonna just screw it. I don't need to go on a trip ever again for the rest of my life.
That's not even. Like, that's not even where you would be in financially. That's not even close.
I know. I don't know.
I could put you in a nice, good condo with a great walking space for Iggy. I know exactly where you should live. Down by my old place. Anyway, we'll talk later. Barry Trotz's future
think we will.
isn't secure. Surest predictor of future behavior is past behavior, and this is where it gets interesting. Trotz said all the right things about Ovechkin accepting a move to the third line, but check Washington's history. Dale Hunter didn't return after demoting Ovechkin in 2012. Adam Oates faced pushback when he moved the captain into unfamiliar positions, and a harsh team meeting in the late 2013-2014 season, where, in brackets, Ovechkin was ripped by several teammates, caused significant problems before a coaching change occurred. Now, Washington played 2 fantastic games after Trotz's juggling. So, what do you think the future of Barry Trotz is? Because I think after a President's Trophy and a 7th game in the second round, back to back, you're safe. That's a joke. You're crazy.
Bruce Boudreau got fired for the same thing, and I'm not even talking about from the Caps.
Alain Vigneault, same thing. I don't know if it was
President's Trophy's a kiss of death. You're not winning shit.
Someone on our Reddit page wrote an interesting question. They said, with the new playoff format, should we rethink what losing in the second round means? Because you're facing the top team. It's like you're in the conference final.
As I said last show, I don't think Washington choked.
Yeah.
I think they got bested, but I don't think they choked.
This is why I like really not learning anything from Lou Lamoriello or Brendan Shanahan. Shanahan, like, you're lucky if you get a fist pump when the Leafs score a big goal. He's just so stoic. It's so easy to, when you're involved in it, to act irrationally. Like, I'm not trying to say this big-headedly or condescendingly, but I genuinely think there are better takes on what to do with certain teams in the media than there are within the actual National Hockey League. You think the Capitals are thinking clearly right now?
No.
Hell no. Who's their GM again? What's his name? I keep wanting to say McPhee. I know it's
McClellan?
not McPhee.
McClellan. No.
No, not Todd.
Hold on.
Something McClellan. Brian McClellan.
Yeah, it's Brian McClellan, isn't it?
I think so. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
It's
Whoever's in
Ted
charge.
Leonsis is the GM currently.
You
Brian
think
McClellan.
Yay!
Brian McClellan.
I got it. Oh my god.
so? No, you make a great point. Forget him.
It's Ted Leonsis.
Cares about that? You think their billionaire owner or whatever amount of money he has owner,
Personal friend of Ovechkin, by the way.
personal friend of Ovechkin, who screamed at a Penguins fan from his box during the playoff series. Oh, you didn't
missed
see
that one.
Oh, he's giving him the Harold Ballard business. You think that guy, who's got a ungodly amount of money invested in all of this, and who's disappointed and angry, you think he is thinking rationally right now? You think he is going to make the best decisions for the Washington Capitals, who he owns?
Friedman actually made that point by using Masai Ujiri as an example in 30 Thoughts. He said, when Masai took the podium, he said, I'm not holding this press conference right now. Why are you asking? I don't have answers to these questions. We just lost. We just got swept by Cleveland.
We're not thinking clearly.
We're not thinking clearly.
Which Cathal
same
Kelly,
thing.
everybody's favorite writer in Toronto, who has all the hottest of terrible takes. And here's the thing with him is that when he has hot takes, people tend to ignore them.
Honestly, I see him pop up in my feed like once every 4 or 5 months.
He's the one who said the Women's World Cup shouldn't have been held in Edmonton because it's not a good enough city in Canada.
Oh, yeah.
And so he's known for saying stuff like that. He said Ujiri's press conference, the fact that he didn't want to make any
You want to do it.
He didn't want to make any bold statements because talking right now, as he said, was BS, means that he needs to go.
That's the right thing to do. Oh, God. Shut the fuck up.
Oh, God.
So I was like, that's why I brought it up, because it's hilarious.
Actually, that does bring me to something I meant to bring up, but I forgot.
Human thinks rationally. Fire him.
Yeah, piece of shit. Ryan Johansson. He's right in the heat of the moment. These guys are still covered in sweat. Some of them are still breathing heavily from the game that they just played. And then you're shoving a mic in their face and going, hey, that guy was being an asshole to you all game, sticking you in the balls. How do you feel about that guy? Fuck him. How does his family cheer for him, fucking asshole? Of course Ryan Johansson's going to say that. I want to say, I think it was Daryl Boyce I was speaking to. It was someone on the Marlies back when they used to give me my cute little press credential for the Marlies. And
you mean the Marlies who don't let press into the dressing room?
That's right, back in the day.
No wonder they still don't, but people are still discovering that who've been here for 25 years.
It's amazing.
Anyway, keep going.
Anyway, so
Did
I was
someone
in
new
there.
discover that?
After the show, we'll tell you. And tweeted about it last playoffs because the Leafs were out, but the Marlies
I remember
were in.
last playoffs. Did it happen again?
Oh, it was Damian Cox. Jesse.
Did it happen again?
No, it didn't happen.
No,
again.
no,
I was
no,
just
That's what
about-
I thought.
Anyway.
No.
But yeah.
Yeah, I can't. That'd be amazing if this year someone went, "What?
Yeah.
It is round 2. What do you mean I can't speak to the
Which
assistant
is-
general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs in intermission?"
Which I'm not going to lie is sort of what we did last year.
What?
anyway, go ahead.
What is that noise?
That should be
somebody's ringtone.
I'm just going to say a text ringtone.
Okay, here, wait. Quiet.
There you go. It's all yours.
There it is.
We should do a ringtone thing where like we have like certain things from
We
the
should get
show.
an app.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Any app
And like,
developers out there?
all the podcasts load on the app, and then the Reddit page is there too. And you guys
Should we do like a Bob Cole soundboard? Like,
And then we should have it on the page.
Didn't
of the
he
app,
have
there
like
should be
a?
whoa.
Oh,
yeah, I got it right on my phone.
No, it's okay. You don't have to look.
Era.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Facts. Anyway, I think it was Daryl Boyce.
What's the matter with you? That would have to
all
go.
those things. Daryl Boyce was basically like something along the lines of the idea of talking to players post game is crazy. None of them want to do it, and the half of them are still sucking wind, and they're just gonna say something either mind-numbingly boring because they've completely shut their brain off, or something completely irrational.
I think the whole post-game thing is based on an old model, right? Because now we get everything on demand, and obviously we do want to hear from the players and the coaches and stuff after the game. However, the reason that they started this is because, and it had to be right after the game, was because the guys in the newspapers had to get their stories in for the next printing the next day. And then obviously you've got sports networks who need those quotes for the next morning. But I wonder if that's going to change a little bit. Because everything's changing right now. I wonder if that sort of strategy will change because you might get better answers later on. I don't know. There's a timeliness to it that's important.
Maybe. I think my videos 9 times out of 10 are better the next morning.
Yeah.
There's more information.
You've slept.
I slept. Yeah, I got more energy.
This is a kind of an aside, but you know what's crazy? It's still in newspapers. They can't print some of the last games that happened on the West Coast. Like if you go to the
I didn't know that.
Name X newspaper and you look at the box scores from the previous night, you won't see some of the West Coast games because they had to send it to the printer and
I have to be honest with you.
It's
I'm still
2017.
I'm trying to figure out, and this is
But you need to print it.
complete aside. In a major city like ours, I understand it in a smaller city, like small towns and stuff. You need your local news. But when you got like 3 national newspapers here, do you really need to print them anymore?
Like at all?
At all?
I don't know. I don't know the
Like
answer
I
to
really
that.
don't.
I don't know.
What income are you missing out on?
I don't know. I don't know how people consume a newspaper. Like it's foreign to me now.
I think there are still people that do.
There
wanna
must
say,
be a
yeah.
financial reason for it to keep doing it. Because if you're losing money at this point, because the overhead is so expensive to print newspapers. If you're making money off it, fine, keep doing it. But the second you stop making money, just go to online.
I mean,
you think?
that's kind of where they're going.
Yeah. Anyway, just a thought. Another big thing to come out of Edmonton.
Ooh.
Leon.
Leon Draisaitl. I thought you said Leo. I'm like, Komarov's going?
Leon.
Oh.
Leon is up.
Is he?
Now, Leon Draisaitl's up. And here's the thing. Mike Louis, former goalie, I believe.
Isn't it Liut?
Liut, whatever his name is. I remember having his hockey card. That's all I can remember.
I think so. As well.
It represents Vladimir Tarasenko. If you remember, Vladimir Tarasenko signed an 8-year, $60 million contract out of his entry-level deal. Now, you wonder, this is according to LA, you wonder if Liut goes for the same thing with Draisaitl. Now, to be fair, Tarasenko had a way better first 3 years. However, Draisaitl's third year of his entry-level deal is better than Tarasenko's.
It's an interesting negotiation. It's all going to come down to negotiation. I mean, geez, look what... I criticize him for trading him. It was mind-numbingly stupid, but the contract that Chiarelli signed Tyler Seguin to, sweetheart. Beautiful.
Great deal.
Beautiful.
JVR.
Oh, it is still one of the better contracts in the league. Boy. And again, you're in it. Peter Chiarelli's in it. And he just He just saw Leon be arguably his team's best player, even ahead of McDavid and
one
Cam
game.
Talbot. Well, man,
What I'm saying is,
he had a hell of a play. No,
what
no,
Jesse is
I'm
saying
with
is that
you.
Connor
I'm with
McDavid
you.
isn't actually that good. That's what Jesse's
Oh, that's
saying.
what I'm saying. Certainly, certainly.
He should not be on the Olympic roster.
Whoa!
Let's be real here. I would take Claude Giroux over Connor McDavid.
Whenever
any
you do,
day.
whenever you do that, I imagine Steve. For everybody listening, Steve waves his hands in the air and then throws his head back. It's like Kermit when he freaks out. That's what it reminds me of. Sorry. Yeah, for one game, but he had a great series, right? Yeah. If you sign him to a 6-year contract now, does it look something like what the Leafs did with Morgan Riley and Nazem Kadri? Different situations, but if you can get him at $6 million and then move Jordan Eberle, you do that.
You just offer him the contract you gave to Jordan Eberle. But a big, it's going to be real difficult for the Oilers, especially because they got McDavid to pay too.
Mm-hmm.
So
they got to move Ryan Nugent-Tompkins and or Jordan Eberle.
Yeah. So do you go big money, like right away, or do you try to go bridge with one of these guys? Try to get him on a cheap, short deal with promises of big money later, because you think you have this unique window. I do not envy Peter Chiarelli, except for the fact he has Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl.
Friedman also mentioned that because of Tarasenko needing more help in St. Louis, there might be a fit there for Jordan Eberle. Tarasenko needs scoring help.
That's $6 million.
And there's a trade history there with Yakupov. Maybe they retain. I don't know. Thoughts?
Maybe.
Kovalchuk to the Islanders.
Of course. No way.
Point number 15, he said, also wondering if the Islanders will make a hard push for Ilya Kovalchuk. It makes sense for them, although they'd have to convince him they're going for it. Kovalchuk apparently has serious interest in the Rangers. Friedman's not sure of their interest, but he said they could pull it off if they wanted to. Sounds like Florida has also inquired. But if Kovalchuk was interested in the New York area, why not the Islanders? Islanders will probably, and this is just adding on because it was mentioned later on that Calvin DeHaan will probably might get lost in the expansion draft. Calvin DeHaan, Detroit's already interested in Calvin DeHaan, but would New Jersey not take a Calvin DeHaan for an Ilya Kovalchuk?
My God, that'd be great for them. Youngish player, kind of entering his prime actually. Player that helps you now in exchange for Kovalchuk, and you get the first overall pick. That's a good little offseason right there.
And Taylor Hall last year.
Little things. And Taylor Hall, yeah. And you still have Corey Schneider, who's going to have a better season than the one he had. Taylor Hall's hopefully, not going to miss a month or two.
And Kovalchuk and Tavares.
No, I was talking about New Jersey.
Oh, no, I know, but the other way.
Oh, and in the Metro. You got to think it's a little bit more expensive, too, because it's within the Metro. You're giving a divisional rival a monster.
A scary goal scorer.
Yeah, you know what you're handing them.
Tavares, that might be the thing, though. That would be like, okay, well,
Kovalchuk,
like how scary would that be?
Jesus, I think you split them up.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
Because
so you
then-
have Josh Bailey with Ilya Kovalchuk? Because that's their second line guy.
I'm not sure. All I know is you have, like, there are certain players, it doesn't matter if you line match, they're coming at you. Doesn't matter who you put on Sidney Crosby. You lose that matchup. You just try to
Contain.
That's
Unless
basically
it's
it.
Nazem Kadri.
Yeah.
Who contained Connor McDavid. Contained him
So
in a shipping container and sent him across the world. Sorry, there was...
my goodness.
he was loaded on in Halifax Harbor, and he was sent away. Sorry.
Broken man on a Halifax pier. But then you have two just unbelievable lines. Like, you hopefully contain the Tavares line and then let Kovalchuk run wild, or you hopefully contain the Kovalchuk line and then Tavares runs wild.
With no offense to Josh Bailey, who is a very, very clearly a second-line center in the NHL, I'm putting Kovalchuk with Tavares to start. I'm doing that.
Hey,
Like
that's a wee situation.
You can't get Kovalchuk and put him with Josh Bailey. You got to put him with Tavares to start.
That's a fantasy camp situation. Just you do whatever you want. It's fun. It's like the Preds, that ridiculous line. What the hell, Forsberg, Johansson, and Arvidsson. Whee!
Crazy.
That's ridiculous. I think the Preds might be better off if they spread that out a little bit. I don't know.
Sometimes, though, when you do that, you get rid of a strength to address a weakness.
That's possible,
So you got to sometimes play to your strengths as well. The Leafs can do that because Nylander, Marner, and Matthews are all different players, right?
I think so, yeah.
And then you've got Kadri and Komarov who have a different role as well. Now, let's talk about... I just had a thought over the weekend. Okay?
Oh, don't do that.
Just had a thought, and I messaged you two with it, but I told you not to answer, as we often do as friends, because we got to bring it up on the show.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Marc-Andre Fleury has a no move clause, does he not?
Yeah.
What if he's already in the conference finals? And if it ends here, this still is relevant. But let's say they go to the Stanley Cup finals. They don't have to win. They go to the Stanley Cup finals. And Matt Murray hasn't played a game. You're Marc-Andre Fleury. You won a cup with them in 2009. You won it last year being a good soldier and also being a pretty damn good goaltender throughout the regular season, right? Mm-hmm. It was only because of injury that Matt Murray took over, was it not?
Yeah, and then they didn't go back to Fleury when he was healthy.
Right,
yeah.
Basically.
So both
Fleury
times
started the first 2 games, I believe, and then he got injured, and then Matt Murray took over the rest of the way.
So you could argue as Marc-Andre Fleury that you gave them that spot, that seed in the playoffs, and yes, Matt Murray took them the rest of the way. It's a team game. But then this year, Matt Murray goes down, and you're the one taking them.
You potentially give him a back-to-back cup, which is just looking more and more impossible by the day.
But you have at very least taken them back to the conference finals, limping there, but they're there.
I mean, this Ottawa-Wilkes-Barre series is amazing.
It's really, truly. But I think, what if Marc-Andre Fleury goes, you know what? Fuck you. I earned this contract. I'm not lifting my no move. I'm not moving.
And he's allowed. He can do that. Pittsburgh's in a good spot, I think. We keep looking at it from the standpoint of they're going to lose a guy. Odds are they're not going to allow themselves to... Like, okay, Matt Murray's not going to Vegas. He's not.
No, they'd have to trade. They'd figure out a trade.
It'll be a trade. So if Pittsburgh loses one of their 2 goalies, which is looking imminent, like I'm not even sure how they avoid it, they're going to get assets for them. They're not just going to be idiots and just let him get claimed.
It's Jim Rutherford.
Yeah, so it's unfortunate you have to lose one of them, unless he pulls some crazy rabbit out of his hat. It's super unfortunate. But you're going to get something for him. And Pittsburgh, I mean, geez, they could use a little bit of depth. Not because they're lacking, but just because, well, they know guaranteed every season everyone's going to get hurt.
I wonder with a guy like Matt Murray. And I wonder, too, first off, I wonder if Marc-Andre Fleury, if he doesn't lift that no trade, if that generates some bad blood with the teammates because,
And the fan base.
But he's still he's still the guy that's saving their butts every night.
It's funny, I think if you were to suggest this to Pittsburgh Penguins fans, they'd be like, oh my God, he's giving the city everything, and he could potentially be, get a 3rd cup with the team, be the starting goalie for it. No, we love him no matter what. Wait until he costs you Matt Murray, then tell me how much you love him.
Right. So then with Matt Murray, I wonder if Pittsburgh doesn't do because they're right up against the cap too. If you flip a Matt Murray for a young guy, so a Jonathan Drouin 2 years ago, or you know what I mean? Like Matt Murray is a hot young goaltender who's going to be great in this league for a long, long time. If you have to trade him, if Marc-Andre Fleury says absolutely unequivocally no, I have earned this contract, and he's well within his rights to do that.
Go to Calgary and say, you get Matt Murray for a blank check of picks. We get all your 2017 picks. We get them all.
I would be calling Calgary.
They're ours now. Yeah. Why not?
You know who else I'd call? Arizona.
Interesting.
Because
they just loaded up on young talent.
Matt Murray would fit that window awfully nice.
Murray's cheap.
But
you're going to have to extend him.
Yeah, I mean, imagine that they would need their 1st round pick this year, but that's the valuable pick because I think Arizona's going to get better. I don't think they're going to be drafting this high forever. You get Max Domi back. Anthony Duclair has a better season.
And I mean, what did they get? A 1st rounder for Datsuk?
Yeah. And
that's
what about
free?
And Hansel too?
Ah!
Hansel's so hot right now.
I think you might have found something. You might have found a very interesting option there, my friend. And then you get to expose Mike Smith. Hooray.
Yeah.
Mike, you want to go to another desert? Does he have a no move? I don't know.
Good question. Jesse, can we look that up?
He has a no trade clause.
So he can be moved.
Yeah, right.
It's an NTC. do we want to talk about Jim Benning's comments on a Vancouver radio station on Thursday, or do we move on?
It's a little old.
It's a little old.
I don't know.
Look it up. It's Jim Benning being Jim Benning. I'll read you the quote. You can roll your eyes,
Go ahead.
and then we'll move on.
And then move on.
Yeah.
Throw it out there.
I tell our guys, meaning his scouts and his assistants,
Yeah.
we want European skill with North American heart. We're looking for skilled players and defensemen who move pucks.
Yeah. So,
The key being the first part.
and a lot of people were harping on me. Well, have you listened to it? You got to listen for the context. And I went, okay, that's fair. And I went and listened to it, and I'm like, it's just what he said. There is no context. The context is, so I have this anecdote. So I have this thing I tell people, and it's literally this. I have this thing I tell people, and it's literally the quote you read.
Can you imagine being the best player on a team for 15 years, and your boss, who has been your boss for the last 2, who hasn't done a bang-up job, says, based on where you were born,
Yeah.
players of your ilk aren't known for their heart.
Simply because you were born
Simply
on
because
a certain part of Earth.
I have a question. Tell me about character and heart.
Yeah.
You leave a country that you've grown up in your whole life.
No.
You learn a brand new language.
No.
You come and get drafted. You're surrounded by strangers at 18 years old.
Or maybe you came and played in the OHL. You're 16.
Maybe, 16. You're billeted with a family that you don't even speak their language, and all of a sudden you're in Sudbury. Like, you're in Sault Ste. Marie. You're in Brandon, Manitoba. You're in Flin Flon, Manitoba. Home of Bobby Clark.
How would you like to join the Swift Current Broncos?
And somehow that does not mean character and heart. You come in, you learn a new language, you make the top league in the world, and you don't have character and heart after all of that? That I think we got to move. Like, it's like nobody watched Borje Salming play.
Yeah.
Like, Borje Salming, to me, is the perfect example because Borje Salming was the Swede who was all of those things in the 70s. We've seen this for 45 years,
Leo
guys.
Komarov is probably the most tenacious guy in the league.
But I don't understand where the Swede thing comes from, or the Russian thing, or what. Borje Salming was the first guy. The very first guy out of the gate was a bloody warrior.
I think, well, yeah. That's one guy, though, and I didn't watch enough 80s hockey to know. I think what probably happened, and this is just a guess, is a lot of Swedes, not all of them, but a lot of Swedes came over to the NHL, and they're used to playing in their leagues, and they come to the NHL where you're allowed to do whatever the fuck you want.
Well, Mike Milbury goes into the stands and beats somebody with their own
You're
shoes.
just allowed to beat up your opponent, step on his head, slash him in the face, call his mom all kinds of nasty names. Like, you're just allowed to do whatever you want, and it wasn't everyone's cup of tea. And here's the most concerning part if you're a Canucks fan. Let's pretend it was benign and he didn't actually mean anything by it. Okay, let's just pretend. I know, but let's just pretend.
Okay.
Just to get past it.
Listening.
That is like a 35-year-old piece of information he is basing the Vancouver Canucks future on. Like, beyond the fact he is, being xenophobic and all that shit. It's just stupid. It's
That's
just
my
a
point.
stupid way of thinking.
I'm not worried about
and
xenophobia
simple.
as much.
You know what? Okay, stupid it's just an insulting word. Simple. It's very simple. We want a player who plays like this. Like Mitch Marner, I would say plays...
Like a Swede.
I would say he plays European.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the way we're defining European.
You mean he plays...
Austin Matthews!
You mean he skates well and can deke the pants off you but doesn't throw hits?
I mean, you know what? Mitch Marner is tenacious, though, and he will throw a hit every now and then, and he will go in the corner. I would say Austin Matthews plays like a bit of a European player.
He went to Switzerland, and that was wrong.
Yeah.
You shouldn't do that. Thanks, Don Cherry.
Soshnikov? I just learned that Nikita Soshnikov is from Saskatoon. I had no idea. Should be Saskatoon.
Cough.
We'll work on it. We'll work on it.
We'll work on it.
It's beyond the fact that it was an inappropriate thing to say. It's just more evidence that the Canucks' future is not in good hands at all.
Even though they made some good moves at the trade deadline with Burrows, I think they did okay. But I just don't understand how someone leaving their country, flying halfway around the world in their mid to late teens, learning a completely new language, and still managing to make it with all the hormones, with all the emotions, with everything that goes into being a teenager, makes it to the world, like the world's biggest stage. Sorry, man, you don't have character and heart because you were born in Sweden or Finland or elsewhere.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's just crazy.
It's like we discussed in the show before. Like a lot of people who are in positions where they get to make decisions and give their opinions, etc., etc. They grew up
in the Soviet bloc.
They were like our age currently. Yeah, during the Cold War. So, like, not everything's going to be exactly up to date. You know, not everything is going to be...
Hold the phones there. Don't you think, though, if you watch 82 games of your hockey team, that it should be? Like, I watched about 70 Leafs games this year. Yeah. There's about 12 I missed. I know that. And I've known that for years.
Adam,
I'm a fan.
Don't you think the President of the United States should know not to put every thought that pops into his head on Twitter?
I'm glad we didn't talk about Jim Benning.
Yeah. All right, fine. Okay, well, you know what? I want to ask you a question, guys. A couple things we got to get through towards the end of the show here before we get to the press conference. First thing is, do you remember that big day in your life? That pivotal moment in your life?
No.
There was a pivotal moment in your life. Did you know that?
I want to know that.
There was a moment in your life where you made a decision. You made a very, very important decision, and it led you to where you are right now.
Actually, yeah.
You remember that moment?
I do.
Jesse, do you remember that moment?
No.
You don't remember that moment?
I don't know what you're referring to.
Do you remember the moment that you decided to give up avocado toast and become a millionaire?
I don't want to talk about No. Move on. The reason these articles keep being written is because everyone reacts to them being like, oh my god, can you believe what they wrote about millennials? And then they keep getting written because they keep getting clicks. So stop. Move on. Done.
You know what would be... No, wait. I'm contributing to what you're saying. Trust me. You know what would be the most read article of all time? All you need is a title. You wouldn't even have to put a body. Everyone's going to click it anyway. What millennials don't understand about analytics.
Oh,
most read
in hockey? Yes.
Most read article of all time.
Now, what's the perfect
website
platform
would
for
crash.
What's the website or outlet that's putting that out?
All of them.
Yeah.
All of them?
All of them.
Front page of New York Times.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Front page of New York Times, and then someone writes a think piece based on it, and
in the
it's got all the
Washington Post.
screenshots or it links to it, and it.
Yeah. And the BuzzFeed writes a little skull on it. What's the next thing you got?
Listen, I knew
then
we
it
were
gets
not
on Kiss, and then it gets on this podcast.
Fuck that.
And then we all die unhappy. That's the cycle. We all die unhappy with our avocado toast.
I want to know how you guys became millionaires by not eating avocado and bread.
Dude,
no, I do have a hot take, a hot, fresh, organic take
about this. No,
avocado toast isn't even good. Boom. There, I said it. It's not that good. It's two bland flavors mixed in one. Get out of here.
I'm indifferent.
Also, okay, so here's the real question. The real question is this. I did that to distract because I knew you guys would. The real question is this. Did Jesse Blake sabotage our WHL names?
I've seen this.
I have also seen this and want to hear more.
Well, I don't remember hearing the name Connor Selesky come up. Now, do you know how Connor is spelled?
I need to know how Connor's spelled.
Cohner.
I
didn't. What about Sekila Swan?
How do you spell Sekila?
Went in the 6th round, 114th overall to the Tri-City Americans. Sequia, excuse me.
Sequinwa.
No, yes! It was also the name of a very big Toyota truck.
Sequinwa.
Sequoia, and then Swan. What about also...
you know what? What's more obnoxious? That name that may or may not belong to a culture that I'm unaware of, or just fucking up Connor?
That's the one that I'm like, the fucking up Connor.
How did they spell Connor?
Cohner.
That's not how you spell Connor.
It's like goes back to the jerseys. It goes back to the jerseys. You're just being difficult.
You're just being difficult. I would, out of principle, call that child Conor forever.
Connor.
It's not Connor. I know what you're telling me to call you. It's not your name.
Maybe it's not.
It's not how you spell Connor. There's 2 acceptable ways to spell Connor. Connor, Conner.
Even if you dropped one N, I'd be like, okay, you're kind of being.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that.
I might give
Isn't
you.
Conor McGregor
I'll
one
give you a pass.
I think he's 2. I might poke you in the ribs every now and then and go, okay, they're Conor, but I will accept that it's Conor. Fuck that.
I just think it's
I want to
hilarious.
have. Now, are we going to have Conor on the show?
I hope so.
I want Jake and Smallwood to introduce Conor.
This name, we won't spend long. This is the piece de resistance. Pièce de resistance.
Better than
of all the
Conor.
names. Better than Conor. Better than the person who might be a cultural thing, but it's the same name as a Toyota truck.
Pièce de resistance, drafted by the Seattle Thunderbirds.
Caprice, by the way, also named after a bad Chevy, and she hates it. Every time I see one, I'm like, it's a Caprice.
Chevy
And they are,
Caprice.
well, she wasn't named after it, but they are ugly. Ugly as
you
sin,
drove
those
a
things.
Subaru.
Okay, fine. True Crow.
His first name is True.
True, and then Crow like Russell Crowe.
That's
Sup, True.
True Crow.
True Crow.
True.
That's like a Canadian, produced television show that wins a bunch of Geminis and gets canceled after about 4 seasons.
No.
4. If it made it to 4, that would be a friggin' Canadian classic.
True Crow comes on right after Arrow.
Fair enough. Yes.
I think Arrow in the season finale has to fight True Crow.
I think it's a good name. It's a good name. Anyway, there's a few more. None of them are as good, but I wanted to bring those 3 names forward.
Okay.
And also present that maybe Jesse sabotaged the
I
WHLC.
genuinely didn't have those names.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Guys, are you looking for a job?
I would love one.
Okay.
I would love one. My avocado toast habit is just ruining my life, and I need another job.
Since I don't eat avocado toast, I was a
still
little bit
talking about
upset because I'm like, I'm not a millionaire yet. When does that happen?
It's bullshit.
If you would like to work in college athletics for Duke University, got a very interesting job posting.
Would you like to be a Dookie?
Duke University's looking for an athletics facilities, game operations, and championships assistants. It's a full-time position covering a period of 11 months, and Duke prefers that applicants have 4-year degrees. Makes sense. It's a university, right? Of course they want somebody who's university
Duke
educated.
prefers that applicants be in crippling debt.
The position calls, and this is, remember all of these things, right? Because there's a lot to this position.
How do people afford college in the States?
Oh my God, it's crazy.
How the fuck do you do that?
Like, I think it was it $48,000 a year for Vanderbilt?
How?
That's before anything else. That's just the tuition, not books, not staying on campus, not eating.
That's unbelievable.
48 grand.
That's unbelievable.
The position calls for someone to manage the athletics facilities. Okay, so managing the facilities,
The buildings.
yeah. You would assist in planning events. So we're talking graduation. We're talking if local rapper comes through and has a concert with 150 people.
That's hard.
And other operations, and provide strategies that will improve the overall performance of that department. So if you, let's say you come up with a better system for managing the way that game ops happen.
That sounds
They
an
want
awful
that.
lot like we get to email you whenever the fuck we want.
Yeah.
You have to respond to us immediately.
For their 11...
Cottage weekend? Fuck that. You're sorry.
Well, it's 11 months. So you are working every day for 11 months. I'm kidding. I don't know
we
that
give
for
you
sure.
a full month off.
They do. Actually, a full lifetime off after it's done. The best part about this is the lucky winner of this position makes exactly $0.
Like all the athletes. I think Duke is just being consistent. I don't see what your problem is.
$0. This is
you
not an
make-
internship.
You make the same salary as a basketball player? As a football player? Does Duke have a hockey team? A hockey player? Imagine having the balls to write that. The balls. These things.
In all caps, it says the position is unpaid.
Hey, at least they put it in all caps. Well,
It's
Duke,
not
I hope you're...
legal,
It's legal. It's legal.
But it's not an internship.
Listen, I'm for
So you're
in-
volunteering?
It's a goddamn job. That's a job. Wait, you're not even a student. You're a graduate.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
What graduate can fuck off? Not
Yeah.
everyone is Will Smith.
So you've gone through 4 years. That's my thing. I'm into internships. I think they're valuable and
Yeah.
important, but you got to have a time limit on them. And there has to be some sort of benefit for the student as well. It's not, hey, you run me coffee for 6 months. You got to teach people things. You got to invest in them. And that's what we do at KISS. I mean, it's really important, and they can only stay so long. And it's for course credit.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Now
This, I'm like, okay, so for 11 months, you're not going to be able to have another job.
Yeah. Like I've done.
This should say rich people only.
Basically, or folks interested in like not eating ever.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like ramen noodles? That should be at the top of the application.
You ever eaten a ketchup sandwich?
Yeah. Oh,
Delicious.
ketchup sandwich, you fancy bastard!
I
Only
know.
on weekends.
Not Heinz ketchup. Not Heinz
No,
ketchup.
my goodness.
Name brand.
You find a tomato in a dumpster and you punch it, and that's your ketchup. That's what you can afford. Like, I've done some thinking about what you told me from Charlemagne's book, where he's like, well, there's X amount of hours in a week, and I work full time, and then I also did this job, and I'm like, you know what? He worked very hard. He deserves to be where he's at, and that's all very inspirational. However, what the fuck is that? What is that?
I think you got to recognize an area where you're being taken advantage of. There's internships, and then there's being taken advantage of. And after a 4-year degree, especially like if you're at Duke, I bet they give you preferential treatment to obviously they would want to get their own grad. Duke's not a cheap school.
Yeah, that's an unfair application for a student to apply for, but you could justify it to me, even though I still think it's bullshit. You could justify it to me as, well, this student will get this, that, they won't have to pay for this, we'll give them a credit or two. To ask a graduate to do that, the fuck's your problem?
How
Bunch
much
of crooks.
revenue
Did
did Duke University generate
I was hoping you'd bring this
in 2016?
The university itself?
The entire university.
Oh God, it's got to be
$5 million, said the guy who knows
I'm going to say
nothing.
$250 million. $250 million.
Holy
Revenue or profit?
Revenue. How much revenue did
It might be higher
revenue.
than that.
Well,
in 2016?
Might be higher
this
than
is just
that.
revenue.
I'm going to say $30 million because I have no
30
idea.
million?
I have no idea what universities make.
Dude, $30 million?
$300 million.
$300 million is good. Go with that.
What's your guess?
I said $250 million. I'll stick to that.
In revenue, they generated $2.6 billion.
They're the
in
New England Patriots.
2016.
That's what the Patriots. Holy shit.
Also, let me throw this at you.
That's revenue.
The Duke athletic budget currently, you ready for this? Without paying players, is $91 million.
What is a shitty salary in the States? Like livable but shitty. Like 25 grand?
25, 30 grand?
Because I know it's
about that here.
you can't offer the person doing all that shit
What's
even
30
a shitty.
What's 30 grand when you have $91 million in your budget? You can't find one extra
what's an
sponsor
education?
for a billboard in
know-
some arena somewhere
Do
that
you
will
know
pay
how
for
much
that?
they already spend on salary and wages overall for the entire university?
No, how much?
$1.2 billion. They already spend that on staff and coaches and everybody. So they couldn't just add a couple.
So they're making $1 billion.
$2 billion.
And then there's facilities. They got to maintain facilities, which would cost you maybe $500 million. Still, you're making $500 million profit.
How does Duke spend that much on staff? How many people work at Duke?
It's a huge university.
Yeah.
It's huge. And also, you got to think like coaches, basketball, football. Those are $3 or $4 million positions.
That's another thing. Like in the States, these big schools, like they just take up a city.
Yeah. Well, I was in
Guelph University. Here it is in Guelph.
In most states, the highest paid person is the head coach of the university. If you go to like Arkansas, if you go to Alabama, because you can look at, because they're civil servants, right? So you get all their income. And then usually, consistently, the highest paid person on that list is a coach at a university.
Why do universities pay coaches so much?
because they don't have to pay the players.
Oh.
Coaches are valuable.
Oh, but like you need a really good coach because like you want to make it far in athletics because athletics make you a fuck ton of money.
Yes.
All right. Well, it's just kind of interesting because like you don't pay your players.
Or insure them beyond their time there. It's good times. Because they could have, maybe you're not good enough to make the NFL, but maybe you're good enough to play NCAA football, which is still pretty damn good. And let's say you, in year 2, sustain a life-altering knee injury and you're no longer able to play.
Yeah. Well, guess you better get good at math.
What if they say you don't have to go to class because you're a football player, and then all of a sudden you can't play football and you haven't been to class in 2 years? What do you do?
What do you do?
That's a great question. You need to ask yourself because it's your problem, punt. Like, they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. Literally, Bugs Bunny out the door. Punt. Like, they don't give a shit.
Which consequently you can't do anymore because your knee's messed up.
Yeah.
Come on, right? It's full circle.
No,
Full circle.
I'm doing the school. Just put like picking him up by the scruff of the hair, like when
Wham.
they're throwing Sylvester outside after he eats Tweety again.
Yeah.
Punt.
Like Jazz and Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
So that's a thing that exists.
That's what they
Balls.
should do when you graduate. Just throw you out of the door.
Life lesson: never, ever underestimate the gall of rich people.
Yeah, really. There's
Never.
a reason. There's a reason they're rich. It's like certain single people. There's a reason they're single.
Yeah.
Now,
What? I can't believe I signed this. Should be $8 or $9 million free agent for $3 million. Everyone else around me is an idiot. At the end of October, I've made a tremendous error.
yep.
I have made such a mistake. Oh fuck.
I don't know if you've heard a little bit. I know we've touched a little bit on it, but the Atlanta Braves have a new ballpark this year. About 20 years after they got their old one, which was perfectly fine and functioning and kind of a fan favorite. And the thing is, they moved the Braves out of Atlanta to a county called Cobb County. So the Braves aren't even in Atlanta; they're in one of the surrounding counties.
But isn't the Atlanta surrounding area like giant
It is.
and growing?
It is.
For some reason, that's what everyone told me at the zoo. When I worked there, for some reason, we got a lot of people from Atlanta, and they were happy to tell me how big Atlanta was getting. I don't know why.
I think people from Atlanta are proud. There's lots going on there,
Except for the Thrashers.
except for the Thrashers.
Go Jets.
So the Braves have left Greater Atlanta, or I guess they're in Greater Atlanta, but they've left the metro. And not knowing geography that well about Atlanta, correct me anywhere, feel free if I'm wrong here, but Cobb County's on the outside.
Sounds like the Mississauga Braves.
Cobb County is its own city council. Cobb County coughed up $400 million and was forced to raise taxes to pay for public parks because they were so severely indebted to this stadium. And remember, this is owned by a billionaire who doesn't need to move the team because the original boss or the original Atlanta stadium is only about 20 years old. Now, the deal brought the stadium to Cobb County, and it's interesting because it was a really poor deal. The burden of paying law enforcement outside the stadium normally falls to the teams, right? Normally, teams have to pay. If you want crowd control at your event, you either pay the police department or don't have it.
It's like construction sites. Don't
Absolutely.
They pay the police department?
Off-duty work, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So they still need the police officers there. The thing is, the Braves somehow worked it out that they don't have to pay it. It actually falls to the county to the tune of $900,000 a year.
Cool.
Now,
Cool.
that doesn't seem like much, but it's a 30-year contract that they've entered into. So they don't actually include.
This is the old arena?
This is the
Or
new
so
one.
the old building?
This
or
is the new
one?
building that they
This is
don't
the
have
new
to
one.
pay for any law enforcement now. So it works out over the next 3 decades. That includes all wages. Remember that it's overtime hours, so it's time and a half. The entire life of this baseball stadium, they will have to. That will come out of the taxpayer dollars, whether people show up to the games or not. And by the way, they're not because the Braves aren't very good again this year.
But if your kid's sick, fuck them.
The estimated cost per game is $11,000 to the county. Postseason games and concerts, like Billy Joel last month, Metallica in July, are extra and they cost the same.
It's like a surgery per event.
Isn't that insane? Now, I know that's not a $900,000 is not a make or break sum for a team. However, isn't that just gross? Like, are you kidding me? Now, it had to do a lot with the former administration of Cobb County. Apparently, they were very secretive about what this deal included. But isn't it sad? Like, if you live there and you're perfectly happy in Cobb County and you're not a baseball fan, all of a sudden your taxes go up just because some billionaire guy was like, yeah, I don't really feel like it. I know you guys want me, so I don't really feel like it. Does that bug you?
Yeah, it does. Now what?
Don't move to Cobb County. Which, by the way, they're going to build
And then
housing.
you just move
all
to
around
another
it.
town where some other rich fuck does it. Then what? Then what? Like, that is what I want to leave people with. Okay? It doesn't matter if it's the Braves doing it. Okay, someone did something to you. Now what? I just think if you make a decision like the one in Atlanta, you should have to go door to door and tell people fuck you. You get what you asked for, but you do have to go and tell people fuck you to their face.
Yeah. And
You might get clocked a couple times, and it is illegal to punch someone.
But in this case, there should be a moratorium.
Yeah.
But just think about it. You're 20 years old. You've lived in Cobb County your whole life. You buy a house, and in Atlanta, you can actually houses are still affordable somewhat. So
Cute
that's great.
story. Make a movie about it and go fuck yourself.
So no, but 20 years.
Like-
you're 20 years old. You're going to raise your family and your kids there. You live there your whole life. Your whole family's there. Your wife or husband's family's
fuck
all
you,
there.
fuck your wife, fuck your husband,
For the
fuck your
next
kids.
30
They don't
years.
care.
Next 30 years, you're paying for that.
Good. They don't care. Have more kids, more taxpayers. Fuck you.
Wow.
Fuck you, go Braves. That's the new Here's a Scarf, go Nets. Fuck you, go Braves.
You got a little sad there. It's got a little got it.
Well, no, because all these stories seem to be like they did a terrible thing.
And nothing was
The
done.
end.
Yeah.
Every story, every real life story is the Grimm brothers. Like, there's no, and then the fairy godmother came. It's the real life Rumpelstiltskin where he tells, or the original Rumpelstiltskin where he tears himself apart. There's no happy ending. It's just, fuck you, story's done.
Well, it's like what was it
And now you pay this.
in Family Guy where they had like the German fairy tale? Where it's like, it might be like a German fairy tale. Hans wouldn't stop sucking his thumbs, and his mother said he would lose his thumbs if he didn't stop sucking them, and he didn't, so she cut them off. The end.
Yeah. But now take Family Guy, and that's real now. That's just what happens now. So I guess, I don't know. I feel bad. People listen to this show for an escape, but my question
It
is
is
just,
a bit silly that this is happening.
yeah.
But the key,
Jesse's like, we were having fun.
the reason I
I'm
bring this
sorry.
up. No, the reason I bring this
I
up
just
is
get
this.
so mad because, like,
I'll tell you the reason I bring it up.
I like stories, Jesse. I like story progression, and I'm like, and where does the story go? And every time it's just, and the people getting fucked continue to be that way.
There's a reason I bring this up.
Like,
There's a reason I bring this up.
oh, okay.
We are all intense sports fans.
Yes.
All of us. My suggestion to you, in every instance possible, is to fight this sort of thing happening where you are.
What do you do?
You can fight it.
How?
Things have been defeated. I mean, Detroit's a recent example of how it wasn't. But I would suggest strongly that you take heed of these stories so this doesn't keep happening. That's why I bring it up.
I think I would rather people look at it the way you're looking at it. I don't know. I'm tired. I've been up.
Well, let's
for
do the
a
press
while.
conference and have some damn fun.
Do
then.
it.
The Presser. SDP. The Steve.
Hate it. I'm glad you brought it up, but I hate it.
Sometimes I got to bring up stuff you guys don't like.
Ugh.
Got to bring it up. Love you.
Which brings us to a question about the Sens. No, I'm kidding.
If you're GM of the Vegas Golden Knights and you had to pick a player to build your team around based on their play in the playoffs this year, who do you pick?
Tanner Glass.
Sidney Crosby.
Yeah.
No, like, is it a pickable player?
Yeah, no, anybody.
Anybody.
Everyone keeps telling me that the Ducks are going to lose Jacob Silfverberg.
No way.
I don't know, man.
That would be the guy, because that's a thing that could happen.
This is the problem that I think Vegas might run into, is you look at all the players that are available to them now, and you go, Vegas could draft a pretty good team. But so many of the players who are currently available, who Vegas would be like, yummy, and take, I think they're going to get dealt around. As if, like, Las Vegas is not going to get one of Fleury or Murray. They're not. Now, there are some teams that are a little boned. If you're the Caps, not a lot you can do to keep Philip Grubauer. If you're the Rangers, not a lot you can do to keep Antti Raanta. If you're the Avalanche, Calvin Pickard, he might be going. I don't know. So my answer is Silfverberg, but my answer is also I gotta think the Ducks will figure something out with him, trade him for whatever. And then it's another team's job to protect him.
Cool.
You know what's going to be awkward? Like, not just the list of, you find out you were left unprotected. It's like an awkward conversation you may or may not have to have with Matt Martin. What if a team makes a trade like that? I don't know. The Sharks acquired Jacob Silfverberg. and they protect him. And as a result,
Somebody
someone
else.
from the Sharks this past year goes, and they're left exposed, and then Vegas takes
It'll
it.
happen. It'll happen once.
Who's it going to be?
And by the way, if you have hurt feelings, like if you're a player and you have hurt feelings about this, welcome to the business, man.
I know. Like, I don't know. When players say it's a business, it's just one of those things you say instead of fuck.
Okay, fair enough.
You know?
Fair enough. Jesse?
Does the amount of dogs Mrs. Dangle retweets worry you at all, Steve?
No.
You sure? It's been ramped up lately.
Well, okay, yesterday she posted a picture with 3 dogs, and that is the view from our backyard every single day. We don't need another dog. We have 3 on weekends, sometimes 4. We have had, I think the record for dogs at our house is 6. That's incredible.
And every time my dog goes to Steve's house, it defecates on his carpet, which is good.
That is true.
She's
She's 3 for 4.
She's learning how to not do that. Like we noticed that a little bit with carpet with her. She wasn't used to. We didn't have any carpet at my old place.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah. So she's now learned that carpet is not to be gone on. She did it at another person's place. She hasn't done it at our house.
She pee on any of your stuff?
Nope. She's good.
She stayed with Uncle Jesse this
I
weekend.
wonder if it's a dog thing. Oh, Iggy, do you own this? Psst, bitch. Like, I don't know. Maybe.
Is she punking Iggy?
She might be
I also
punking
don't
it.
have carpet, so maybe.
It might be.
Might be that. Well, I mean, she's physically punked Iggy a bunch of times.
Yeah.
He was just do, and then she goes straight, and he's just like, because he doesn't know how to handle it.
Okay.
I've seen Iggy stick up for himself a grand total of 1 time, and I was so proud. I was just like,
Had a boy.
yeah, the other dog owner was just like, hey, and got their dog in trouble, and I was just like, Iggy, bad. And I'm like, good boy.
Keep doing it.
That was awesome.
Jesse.
Yeah, do that again.
Final question.
Dog's
This is the
an
most
asshole.
upvoted question of the week. Of the day, I should say. If what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, will every Vegas player have a no-trade clause?
That is fantastic. Who wrote that?
Childish Ging,
Different from Gambino?
He did Gingino. I don't know.
Ging?
I don't know. What's Ging? G-I-N-G-I.
Ginge? Like ginger?
Childish Gingino?
Maybe?
Gingino.
Yeah, that's better.
That's good. I like that.
Clever. I liked how we discussed that like a bunch of uncles at a barbecue.
Would you like to?
You know what I think it means?
I would like to end on a fun note. A fun note with a cat's meow, and I want you to know that this is real. Okay, this is a real thing. Have a listen.
What?
This is Jack.
That's fake.
His voice is a little deeper than most cats.
That's fake.
It's not fake.
We're gonna in 2 weeks. We're gonna find out this was all a Chipotle ad.
Yeah.
And it was a secret marketing campaign to sell more Chipotle.
Jimmy Kimmel comes out from behind the cat and goes, guess what?
Say hi. You say hi?
Whoa.
That's
Not a cat.
It was now. I initially thought this was fake too, but apparently, now this is not a very good publication to base it on. But there are newspapers like the Daily Mail that are running with it that this is actually a vocal cord condition that this cat has, and that this is a real thing.
viral cat video is fake.
That isn't that sick? Imagine your cat sounded like that. Might make having a cat be okay.
What? Might.
Might.
I doubt it, though. You know what you should get? 2 dogs.
I think you need 4.
Yeah.
See, the thing is that you talk about the 3 dogs in the backyard, Steve. I think a 4th would really even it out.
Cool. Well, that's why on weekends,
You'd
their
have a Bobby
daughter
or amount of dogs.
or whatever brings over Stan.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes there are 4 dogs in our neighbor's house, and they come over to our backyard. So there are 5 dogs
I have a
in our
question.
backyard. Iggy, Boston, Kramer, Stan, and Mo.
Good names.
Yeah.
Good dog names.
What's more likely, Steve moves to Toronto or Steve gets a second dog?
Steve gets the second
dog.
Yeah?
Yeah. What do you
Okay.
think? Do you think differently?
No, it's toss up. It's like 50-50, I think.
Yeah. By the way, Jesse, I think we had a moment. We sort of bypassed it today, but I think it's important that we highlight it between the two of us while Steve's on his phone. Steve did say on his way into breakfast television this morning to himself, "How much debt do I want to be in?"
So he's thinking about it.
To me, that constitutes a crack in the wall, does it not?
Yeah, it does.
No, it just-
There's a chink in the armor.
No, every few months, I just go. I need to move. This is killing me slowly, and then we don't, and then I calm down, and a few months goes by until my next breakdown.
And eventually it's going to happen.
No, I think I'll just die.
You just die on the ropes.
I'll just die.
Amazing. Well, that's it for the show today.
That was on an uplifting note.
Uplifting.
Well, follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. The Steve Dangle Podcast. Download the rest of the show at sportsnet.ca.